Yo, what's up? It's Luke Holland. These are 20 questions that you guys asked, and I'm happy to answer them. Let's go. Ooh. Yeah, so staying motivated can be a really hard one because, listen, every single drummer that I know, including myself, everybody deals with issues like that. Like, my favorite drummers I know deal with issues where they don't stay motivated about stuff. Me personally, when I feel that way, I take a step back from the drums. I don't touch it for a week. I go do other things. I think it's really important. And then come back to the kit, and then you might feel a little bit motivated. But that's always worked for me. Or checking out different genres of music and being like, okay, this feels... I feel more inspired and more motivated to get back into a different style of drumming or something. It's funny. Drums, I definitely spend a lot of my time playing drums or traveling, touring, doing that kind of thing. But when I'm not doing that, I love video games. I usually anime. I'm always with my friends, that kind of thing. Just kind of taking it easy, and because drumming's a very physical thing, you got to give your body a break. So yeah. So this can be either like pour overs, just nice, delicious black coffee, or the polar opposite, which is maple latte. There's this place by my house, it's so good. Maple latte with oat milk and cinnamon. So either super sweet and delicious or just straight up pour over, yeah. Jared Dines is indeed a little tiny ass shrimp. However, this basically started from one of my old drum techs. His name, everybody calls him Jeeves. He would always say, little shrimp. We would just say that for a straight tour, an entire tour. We just call everybody little shrimp. So I don't remember which video it was with Jared, but it just naturally came out. In the video, I just called him a shrimp. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it was Jeeves. Jeeves is doing. AskJeeves.com. I've always tuned by ear. I think I've always liked really punchy toms. I like my snare to snap, a lot of crack to it. That way you can hear a lot of the ghost notes too. And then kick, usually more on the looser side. I hate a tight sounding kick, just and it doesn't feel very good either. But yeah, I just tune it before, because nobody likes I personally don't like sitting down behind the kit and then being like, I hate my drums. It's I'll fix it before I do that because I don't feel inspired. Yes. Yeah, so I got stories for days about my tattoos. My very, very first tattoo I ever had was almost borderline peer pressure with The Word Alive. I was 18 years old, and we were in Columbus, and I just joined the band, and I got my first tattoo on my ankle with them. The whole band, we all have it, and it was I literally called my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get a tattoo right now, and she's like, oh my God, you're getting a tattoo? She's like, I knew it. And then she called me back 10 minutes later. She's like, it's okay, I'll still love you, kind of thing. So funny. But yeah, after that I had that one, and then I just kept I can't bust it out now, but I think maybe I'll just do a whole video on my tattoos. I'll just do a whole video where I can kind of go through, because I have my arm, my back, some of my leg, that kind of thing. No girlfriend, no. Yeah, girls like a guy that's really into something, really motivated. Musicians we got a different brain, different mindset, typically, not all the time. But yeah, girls like drums, dude. I don't know what else to say. Yes, this is a great question. Whoever asked this question, Charlie, shout out to Charlie. Yeah, man. So I think when I started getting recognized on the internet, I was 16 years old. So that was 11 years ago. I'm 27 now, so that might make you feel old, whoever's watching this. Yeah, it was I never expected any of that to ever happen. It just happened randomly. And I almost thought it was a prank when I started seeing a couple thousand views on my first video. It was somebody running a bot or something to give me views. This doesn't even make sense. I just didn't believe it. And then it kept going up, and obviously started hitting the millions, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. So yeah, I was the most confident in myself, I think, when I was 21 years old. I was a few years into The Word Alive, and yeah, I think coming from a small town, I never really let it fully take control of my life, because that's really dangerous, man. If you ever walk around feeling like you're the best at whatever you do, in this case obviously drums, I think that you've already kind of lost the game, because like I get this so much where people ask about how I view myself, and I never think I'm the best drummer, literally ever. First, I don't think the best drummer exists, but I think I see so many drummers that I look up to, so therefore I never am satisfied, and I think that's what constantly pushes me to get better. So, but yeah, I mean, dealing with that at a young age, I'm very, very thankful for the Word Alive guys, because those guys, incredible group of dudes. I'm very lucky that they gave me a chance when I was 18, and they ended up being really good guys, you know. That who knows where that could have strayed to. That industry is pretty crazy. But yeah, I think I'm just not really a overconfident person naturally. So yeah, just always kind of got to keep the head on straight, you know. Yeah, I don't have a favorite genre, just because I got into drumming because of music, my love for music. So, like, dude, I remember bugging my brother for his CD player when we would do like road trips. I was like 5 years old. Can you let me listen to, he would have like Hanson and Green Day and like Blink-182 all the way to the Will Smith rap album, to like everything. I've always been exposed to Shania Twain, like, who I almost played drums for in 2015. But I've always just been exposed to so many different types of music, and just truly in love with it. Like, it's the only thing that I've fallen in absolute love with from an early age. So I don't really have a favorite genre of music to play to. Metal is obviously, I've really grown out of metal a lot, just because being on tour for 5 years with the Word Alive and then doing the Jason Richardson stuff, it was cool, but it becomes repetitive, and I feel like the music it doesn't really excite me anymore. But it is fun to play like a song that I still know. Like Veil of Maya is one of my favorites still metal bands that I'll put on. It's fun because it's technical and you hit really hard kind of thing. But rap, hip hop, trap, drill, that kind of stuff is really fun because you can create, and there's like a canvas that you can totally create whatever you want. That's what always like gets me off in a drummer way, is that. So yes. So Jason and I tracked drums for back in 2015, December 2015. I tracked drums for our first and only record that Jason named One. It's not I, it's One. And yeah, I mean, we released Tendinitis in 2017, I want to say, which is a single, and we've been writing stuff ever since then, just like here and there, but we've both just been so busy. Like, he joined All That Remains, I was doing my solo tours for a couple years, and then also recording albums for people and touring with other bands. So but we're finally at a point now where we are able to spend a little bit more time on it, so nice. It's coming. Yeah,
gonna track that soon?
Hopefully soon. Oh my goodness, yeah, my first show with Rufus Du Sol was, I'll never forget it. If you don't know who Rufus Du Sol is, they are like one of the best, in my opinion, and biggest house electronic acts in the world. They're from Australia. It was actually Matt McGuire, who's a good friend of mine for a long time. He reached out to me saying that their drummer was injured and they needed a fill-in for one tour. And he's like, you should take a crack at this. I think you'd kill it. It's a different gig, something you haven't really done before. It's electronic, a lot of SPDSX work, a lot of pad work and stuff. I was like, sounds interesting, sounds different, let's try it. So I went to, my first rehearsal with them was in Sydney, Australia, and like I'm pretty sure they rented out the city hall there or something ridiculous, and we just had this, I didn't really know much about them, and I walked into rehearsal and I was just like, okay, like these guys are this is the real deal. These guys are killing it in their own regard. So I hadn't seen the light show until our first show ever. So Tyler, the Creator, gets off stage. He's direct support. We headlined the night, 36,000 people. And Tyler, the Creator, walks off stage. I'm just like, all right, get on stage, light show hits. And I was just like, holy shit, this is crazy. This literally endless ocean of people. And just, it was so cool because, like, playing like that kick, just hitting, like, I was completely controlling the movement of this sea of people. Like, it was crazy. And I could feel like if I was ever slightly off, you could see a couple people like stop dancing a little bit. It was really, really interesting compared to like crazy metal stuff. It's total polar opposite energy. It was one of the best touring experiences of my life with Rufus, for sure. Yeah. When it comes to like social media and branding and things like that, I've always done it all myself. I've never had a manager. I've never had any of that kind of stuff. I've always done it just me because I like to be in control of that kind of thing. I like to be in control of how my audience perceives me, how I connect with you guys. So yeah, it's just always kind of been me this whole time, and I think it keeps it authentic. Obviously, I've never done Q&As like this on my channel, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of give back a little bit to everybody that's watching. So yeah, so kind of already touched on this, but the Word Alive, them giving me a chance when I was just literally this kid on YouTube. I was 17 when Telly, the singer of the Word Alive, called me, and I just turned 18, like when I started touring with them. And I'm so grateful. Like, I think about it now, I'm 27, and like getting this little 18-year-old kid to come on tour nationally, where we hit Asia a million times, Europe like 11 times, Australia, South America, all over the States a billion times. Yeah, that's a huge risk, and luckily I wasn't a little piece of shit back then. I'm still not, but like, I had my stuff under control for being an 18-year-old kid. So yeah, I think it was really interesting because the debate online was always me. Actually, I never really defended myself, but it was always people talking shit, saying like, okay, yeah, he can play it on camera, it's all smoke and mirrors, like let's see him do it live. And I'm so thankful for the Word Alive because I was able to go and show people this isn't a joke, dude. Like I've been playing drums a long time. I take it very seriously. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful I was able to have that platform to just be like, here it is. There's no smoke and mirrors. I'm the real deal. So I'm a little odd in this one because when I was with the Word Alive, I played literally to just a click track in my ears. That's it. I didn't have any other. There was no track in my ears. There's no drums. There's no guitars, vocals, nothing. It was just, That's what I listened to for 5 years. That's what I thought was normal. And then when I started playing with Jason Richardson, it was like completely opposite. Like I could hear every little nuance. I was doing because Jason's like a gear nerd. He freaks out about it in a good way. He loves it. Super pro. So, and then when I do videos, for my YouTube channel right now, I'm at Perfect Sound Studios in Frogtown. I am kind of the same as I was before. I just listen to the MP3. I don't want my drums in my ears. I don't want anything else. I just want to hear the song. And the reason for that is when I'm practicing these songs in my practice room, I'm just listening to the MP3. So if I come into a big, nice drum room and I have all these different things I'm hearing, it's like a completely different experience, and sometimes it'll throw me off. So I want to practice. I want to record like how I was practicing. So I love you too. I love you too. Shout out, thank you. And yeah, so I started with like a bigger kit back when I started touring because that's just what I was playing at the time. I wasn't used to setting up and tearing down a million different ways in a venue, and I was like, okay, this gets old really fast. Set up, load on, tear it, whatever. So I started taking away pieces from my kit, and I was like, I can do this with a 4-piece. Like I don't really care. And then I got the 7-piece rose gold kit, and that was because of Tony Royster Jr., who's a good friend of mine. One day he called me, and we talked for a while, but he's like, bro, you know what you need? He's like, you need more sounds on your drums. Like right now you're killing it on this smaller kit. He's like, I want to see you with like a bunch of toms. I want to see what kind of drummer you turn into. And I was like, all right. So I called DW and we made that kit. And yeah, it totally changed my style. It was pretty crazy, but I kind of dialed it back into the 4-piece again because now I use like little stacks that are a lot closer to me. Everything's very, very tight. Like all my drummer friends sit behind my kit and they're like, dude, like how do you play like this? But I'm mostly like a wrist drummer, so I like everything really, really tight. But yeah, the 4-piece just feels really natural. I don't know. It'd be either 4-piece or 7, like no in between. I either want big or like I want tight and compact. So that's a good question. I was actually supposed to be in Thailand right now playing for an orchestra, but because of COVID, I would have to fly in and quarantine for 2 weeks, which I for my own sanity right now. I don't want to do that, especially near Christmas time. I'm good. But yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Like, I know Jason Richardson. He's insanely sick at orchestral stuff. Like he's out of this world. So, and there's some different projects that I've worked on that have some of those ideas in it. So we'll see. So this is gonna sound bad. It's gonna sound bad. It's not bad, but I spent a lot of time when I was 14 years old. I was on marching band. I marched traditional grip, so I spent a lot of time practicing my rudiments and my dynamics back then, and I honed it in. I swear my hands have never been cleaner than when I was 14 years old and 15 years old. I did it for a year and a half. I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice a semester just on the snare. So I spent a lot of time honing that stuff at an early age and kind of just stuck with me. Now, this is what I do for practice. All I do, I go into my practice studio, I plug in my in-ears, I play the music, that's it. I don't even warm up. I'll never forget, I did an interview with Chad Smith and Thomas Lang. We rented out this salon thing with DW. It was ridiculous, but I'll never forget Thomas asked Chad in the interview, or no, Chad asked Thomas, he said, "Hey Thomas, what do you do for warming up or practice routine?" Kind of same question. And Thomas was like, "Well, let me ask you something, Chad. Does a secretary warm up on her typewriter or her keyboard before she goes into work?" And he was like, "Good point." It's obviously a little bit different. It's a much more physical thing, but yeah, I just stopped warming up or practicing, and it just feels so much more comfortable. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You know what I love? I love going back and watching some of my old videos every so often because it takes me back. I can literally remember life at that time. It's almost like a little history book into my life. That's a really, really hard question to answer because they're all very special to me. One that's really, really sticking out right now is Where Are You Now? Justin Bieber, Skrillex, Diplo. Because I was on this tour with The Word Alive, a lot of amazing things were happening in my life, and I woke up to Justin Bieber had tweeted it to Skrillex and Diplo, and just that kind of made me feel, I was like, okay, there really isn't a limit to what I can achieve. I can do whatever I want. I just gotta want it enough and work hard enough for it. So yeah, I can't say one specifically, but that one really was special. The K-pop, I love them all, dude. It's hard. Yeah, so when I was 16 years old, Matt Greiner and Adam Gray were two of my favorite drummers, August Burns Red and Texas in July. And I emulated their setups. My first videos were covering their songs. They were huge inspirations of mine. And I was in history class, and I got a message from Adam Gray, who's Texas in July's drummer, saying, "Hey man, let me know your phone number. I want to talk to you about an opportunity." I was freaking out because I didn't think those people were I didn't think you could connect with them. Social media was just kind of starting to really, really pop off back then. And so yeah, I'm here. I get this message directly from my favorite drummer at the time. He calls me while I'm in history class, and I was like, "Who's this?" And I answered. He's like, "Hey Luke, it's Adam Gray." And I was like, holy shit. I literally got up and walked out of class. My teacher was like, "Where are you going, Luke?" I was like, "Shut up." I was like, "Leave me alone. I don't care what you have to say right now." And yeah, he asked me to fill in. He was stuck in Italy because this volcano erupted and covered the Atlantic in ash, and nobody could fly back and forth. So needed a drummer to fill in. I filled in for my favorite band, and yeah, it was definitely a moment that changed everything for me. But I started getting recognition from drummers that I looked up to, and drummers that I never thought that I would be in contact with them, and it was just crazy. It definitely did not give me an ego at all. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it just made me hungry. I just want, all right, well, if I can get your attention, I want to get your attention. I want to be in drum videos with you. I want to be able to jam with you behind closed doors. Nobody knows about it, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm super fortunate, and it's just a lot of hard work, I have been playing drums since I was 10 years old. My dad, my parents got divorced when I was younger, and my dad played drums, but I never really directly learned from him. I just kind of got a natural, I always say natural knack for it. But my next door neighbor, Frank Becerra, his name was, he would play drums with his garage door open. And one day I just like walked over there, and I just remember the drums being so loud. I was like, oh my gosh, how is he just sitting there just like listening to this? It's crazy. And I just asked him, can you teach me something? So he taught me, he taught me that, and I was literally, like, I caught on instantly. He's like, wow, that's really quick. And I was hooked. I mowed lawns for 9 months around my neighborhood. I did little odd jobs for my parents. Took me 9 months, raised $350, got my first drum set. So that was, by the time I got that first kit, I was 11 years old. So do I use triggers? No, I do not. Ever. They weird me out. Like, I'm a very dynamic player. I like not hitting as hard as I can sometimes. Like, I like softer stuff. So they triggers will catch those nuances, and you try to do ghost zones, like, it's like, that sounds weird. But I did, they're like Rufus Du Sol. They gotta have that flawless sounding kick drum that matches up with whatever song. So, like, we use triggers for that kind of stuff. But for any of my videos, no, I've never used triggers ever. I never expected any of this. Like, I was gonna go to med school. I was gonna go for 8 years, 3-year internship. Actually, right now I'd be 10 years, so I'd be almost done with all of that. I wanted to be a doctor. So yeah, this is like, it's crazy for me, I've never felt like, yeah, I deserve this, or I'm owed this, or anything like that. So I'm definitely, like, anybody who's watching this, for real, I'm insanely thankful and appreciative of the support over all the years, because really, like, at the end of the day, you take away you guys, and I'm just a dude who loves to play drums, So I think, it's really important. If you ever met me in person, like, I don't care how long you want to sit there and talk, or, like, I'll sign a million things, take a million pictures. I don't care. Like, it's really important to me. So yeah, but it's crazy, man. Like, I don't know how to answer that question. It's hard to explain, but it keeps me hungry, it keeps me motivated to keep getting better, to keep inspiring. Yeah. So I guess you could consider drumline, drum lessons, because I absolutely learned all the rudiments, all the dynamics just drilled into my head. But I never had drum set lessons ever. It's kind of always self-taught. I just would turn on my first 4 bands that I was obsessed with: System of a Down, As I Lay Dying, Under Oath, and Slipknot. And I would just turn those on and just play note for note every song. I'd learn every single song on every record. And that's how I learned. I just learned playing the music. So never had any lessons. I'm definitely an ear drummer. I think, shout out Ray Schremmert. I'm definitely, like, I hear something, I absorb it, I learn from it. I hear other players playing. I never read sheet music. I don't read stuff when I'm, it's just all up here in my head. So I'm very, very much so an advocate of by ear. Like, you gotta feel it. If you feel it, it'll translate behind the camera, 100%.
Do I watch anime, he says.
Come on, dude. So, yes, I love anime. I've been watching, like, Miyazaki films since I was super little, like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, stuff like that. Like, changed my life when I was younger. And, yeah, I mean, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was super, like, that was my life for years. So, definitely a nerd. Half my sleeve is from Final Fantasy. I got Shiva and Ifrit on the other side of my arm. Not really anime, but it's originated in Japan. But yes, I love anime. Demon Slayer is like one of my more recent favorites. Such a beautiful show. Bleach, I've seen every single episode. Actually almost wore a Bleach shirt today instead. But yeah, I love anime. It's my shit.
There you go.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I know that was kind of a long video, but I might do some more of these in the future. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys once more. I'm so thankful for all of you. Please take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.